The Washington Panthers celebrate opening night tonight with a win over Williamsville. Aaron McDonald was the starting pitcher. Washington used 4 pitchers and tossed a 1-hitter. Kristen Denny making the nice play right there at third base for the Panthers to help out McDonald. Later, Steph Shoney throwing the hard heat there for the K. Meanwhile, Courtney Newkirk went 4 for 4. Newkirk here drives in Jessica Grog. Jessica only went 3 for 4. Washington having fun tonight. They are winners. Earlier today, it was Peoria. A couple of terrific games, both 1-0 games. First tonight, it's a battle of orange. Normal Community versus Washington. It was a scoreless battle thanks to some great defense. How about Normal Community's Megan Hassel? The nice running catch with a runner on second would have scored a run. Later, Washington, the double play. Jamie McGrath to Jessica Grog for the rare softball 6-4-3 DP. But in the 6th inning, scoreless. Normal Community. Jennifer Bethman, the base hit. Then great execution by Megan Patty. She gets down the bunt, moves the runner to second, and with 2 outs, here's the only run of the game. Allie Arnold, the big 2-out hit, drives home Kristen Lutz, the pinch runner, and there's your run. 1-zip. Normal Community is a winner.
The Washington Panthers hosting perennial power Moline today. The Panthers looking good right here. Catcher Rachel Webster drives one to the wall to drive in a speedy Laura Zobrist. Later on, Jamie McGrath's ground ball drives in Webster, but Moline wins game 1, 7-5. Washington wins game 2, 5-4. Galesburg.
Washington in another mid-illini game. Delissa Nestrud had a couple of hits for the Potters. She drives in 2 with a single up the middle right here. But Washington fans were smiling in this one. The Panthers scored 7 times in the first inning. Laura Zobrist got things going. She had a couple of hits. She dumps one into left field. Later, winning pitcher Carrie Suttle with the RBI hit. And Washington a winner over Morton, 9-4. The Panthers at IVC today, and IVC using their speed to get on the board in the first inning. Bryn Hasse on third base, and she'll score on Sarah Duncan's little ground ball. The speedy Hasse easily scores the first run of the game. Washington, though, will get the runner out at second here. Andy Bandico, the strike to Jamie McGrath. Then Carrie Suttle gets the fly ball out, but IVC gets the win. 4-3 IVC. Limestone's at Morton. At Washington, you got to watch these highlights here. Washington pitcher Carrie Suttle on the mound. Runner on third. When Carrie Suttle winds up, and whoops, she threw the ball backwards. The runner scores from third. Nikki Gore scores. Watch it again as Carrie Suttle loses the handle on the ball, and it goes backwards. Yeah, but don't feel sorry for Carrie because her team wins. Courtney Newkirk drove in the game-winning run, and Carrie Suttle pitched a great game. She gets the strikeout here, so way to go, Carrie. Washington wins it 3-2. Ball game, Mid-Illini leader Metamora hosting Mid-Illini defending champion Washington. Now Metamora was down 1 when they rally in the 6th inning. Amanda Malloy the base hit. Then Jill Meinhold will get a double. They had the bases loaded and just 1 out. But Washington pitcher Carrie Suttle was able to get out of the jam. She fields the ball here, looks the runner back, and gets the out. Then in the 7th inning, the Panthers explode. Lindsey Kirk rips the double to the wall in right field. Then Courtney Newkirk will come up with a big 2-run single right here. And Washington, an impressive win for the
Bookstore is a proud
into Jan Smith Field in Washington, where the Panthers today were taking on Dunlap. Let's check out the highlights. Laura Zobrist for Washington, the beautiful bunt single. But today's game was dominated by Dunlap. After that single, watch Mandy Urian, the second baseman, turn it into a double play, catches the line drive, gets the out. And how about pitcher Alicia Sturm? She was terrific, changing speeds. Watch right here, the changeup. Throws off the hitter's balance. Later, the heat for the strikeout. Sturm goes all the way. Dunlap wins it 4-2. It's been a good week for the Eagles. At Morton, the softball, great day for softball and a beautiful pitcher's duel in Washington. It's Washington taking on Richwoods. Richwoods would score in the first inning. Shanna Waldo, the slap base hit. She then was sacrificed to second, stole third, and scored on a wild pitch. That's generating some offense by Shanna Waldo. But Washington got 2 big hits from Laura Zobrist, their slap artist. And Courtney Newkirk was the star of the game. She made 2 great defensive plays. Nice catch right there. And had the game-winning RBI. Washington scores 2 in the 7th to win it 2-1. At the Washington Highs hosted some great softball this week. Yesterday, Richwood's played. This weekend, they got their big tournament. Today, they were taking on Limestone. Jessica Gard, the base hit right here for Washington. Later, Courtney Newkirk smash drives her home. And Carrie Suttle was terrific in the pitcher's circle. She gets the strikeout. Washington gets the win, 3-zip. Team also has some great news today. They've signed Washington High star pitcher Carrie Suttle. She's thrilled to be joining ICC's great softball program.
I just want to thank all my other coaches that helped me, like Frank King and Mr. Reed and Russ Ashenbrenner and all those people that have helped me. It's brought me a long way, and I'm really excited about the season, and I'm glad she didn't change her mind after that blooper incident with you. Put it on the bloopers of the week.
Carrie's got a good sense of humor despite her heart-stopper pitch. She's off to ICC. Congratulations to her, her family, and the ICC Cougars.
Next in sports, we preview a big weekend softball tourney, plus a big afternoon of big league.
To high school sports, this is one of my favorite weekends of the year. The Big Panther Classic softball tournament starts tomorrow, a weekend full of great competition.
The Washington Panther Classic softball tournament is an early Elite Eight preview. 8 teams are coming to Washington this weekend. All 8 teams are contenders for the state finals.
Number 1 team in the Chicago Sun-Times is Joliet. They're going to be in. New Trier is number 3 in the ranking. We've got Thornwood perennially. They're one of the best teams. Macomb is a great Class A team. And Olympia. A team could win 1 game and lose 3 and still play great softball.
I think that helps when you play some of the tougher teams at the beginning of the year, and now when we're playing conference games, it's a lot easier.
With many of the state's best Class A and Class AA teams in town this weekend, now Washington will be the place for great softball. The Panthers hope they can compete for the tourney title.
We'd like to play really well. There's a lot of good teams coming into the tournament, and I think we've been improving as a team and working more together.
Who's going to win this tournament? Well, you can't count out anyone, but you can count on some great softball excitement Friday and Saturday in Washington. And
Next in sports, lots of local highlights, plus it's a big day for the Cubs in Houston.
Today, the big game in the mid-illini, first place East Peoria at defending champ Washington. This was a terrific pitcher's duel. East Peoria's Crystal Miller with that change of pace pitching gets the strikeout right there with Carrie Suttle. It was just as tough. She gets the comebacker right here. The game was scoreless after 7, scoreless after 8, scoreless after 9. Into the 10th inning, Katie Weber leads off the 10th with the infield hit. Katie hustling down the line is safe at first. Then Jessica Grog, the base hit, that sets up the game-winning highlight. The squeeze is on. Laura Zobrist bunts. Valerie Swearingen is home with the only run of the game, and the Washington fans are all fired up. Look at this guy. Yeah, Panthers. 1-zip, Washington. With first place East Peoria. Sports today, the 2000 Washington Panther Classic begins. How tough is this tourney? Washington loses 2 games today. Washington pitcher Aaron McDonald, pretty play right here, comes up with a squeeze, goes home to Annie Bandico for the tag at the plate. But boy, Olympia playing well. Trisha Gaither getting some help from Nicole Prager at shortstop. Beautiful backhand and throw. Later, Natalie Gaither with the hit. Natalie Gaither, the winning pitcher in Game 1. Trisha Gaither, the winning pitcher in Game 2. Good day for Olympia. Tonight, it was Washington taking on Macomb. Good ball game. Washington trails 2-zip in the 6th inning. Jamie McGrath starts a rally with a base hit right here. Jamie going right back up the box. But watch what happens here with runners on 2nd and 3rd. Annie Bandico with the infield hit. Great stop by the second baseman. The throw is late to first. Now 1 run has scored. The second run out at the plate, and that was the tying run potentially. 2-1 Macomb wins it. The tournament continues tomorrow in Washington. They're not only serving up great softball, but also plenty of nachos. A lot of good food out there. Hey, Joliet, the number 1 team in Chicago, is playing. Mary Jasiak, their star pitcher, looking good today. Joliet beat New Trier 1-zip. You want to see some good softball, you want to get to Washington tomorrow.
Panthers playing for 5th place, and Washington whips Rockridge with Clint Reed playing lots of reserves. Washington wins by the 10-run rule and a no-hit pitching effort by Lindsey Kirk and freshman Tina Bullard. Kristen Denny, the nice play right there. Washington wins 2 games today. That one, 10-0. Middle line.
Is in first place. It's a big second-place showdown as Washington plays Morton. Potters trailed 2-zip in the 7th when they rally. Joy Ganaway, the base hit. Morton would load the bases, but that was it against Carrie Suttle. Joy Daniel lines hard to Courtney Newkirk, and then Suttle gets the final out of the game on the comebacker. She's going home to Annie Bandico for the out. Carrie Suttle pitched a 3-hitter, and Washington wins it 2-zip. The hottest team in the Mid-Illini, well, it's Washington. The Panthers winners again today, knocking off IVC thanks to the seniors. Courtney Newkirk, a senior with the base hit. How about Carrie Suttle? She is on fire in the pitching circle. She gave up just 4 hits. She got a lot of help from Jamie McGrath at shortstop. Washington wins again. 2-zip Panthers. The
Washington hosting a big tournament today. The big game, Washington versus Illini Bluffs. The Tigers' Lindsey Bauer, the shot to right field for the double. Big hit for Lindsey Bauer. Then Amy Gordon hits one to right field. Washington's Tanya Armstrong, the great catch, but it's a sacrifice fly. Illini Bluffs wins the game 5-0 and the tourney tie. HY Athlete of the Week award. Today we honor 2 finalists who are currently on the fast track. Finalist number 1 is from boys track. Ryan Mall of Farmington won the 100, 200, and the 400 at the Eureka Invite on Friday. Finalist number 2 is Amy Gard of Peoria Richwood. She has the top times in both the 1600 and the 3200. She's our 2nd finalist. And our 3rd finalist is Carrie Suttle of Washington. She pitched back-to-back shutouts for the Panthers. Once again, Ryan Mall, Amy Gard.
Athlete of the Week. Tonight we honor the hottest pitcher on the area's hottest team.
After a slow start, the Washington Panthers have surged into first place behind the great pitching of senior Carrie Suttle. Last week, Suttle went 3-0 with back-to-back Mid-Illini shutouts.
At the beginning of the year, we were having some errors and stuff, but now I trust my defense behind me, and they help me out a lot. We wouldn't win games without them. I've picked up on some velocity, and I've got my control down.
Well, she throws this nasty drop curve on the outside part of the plate to right-handed batter, and she's won 8 in a row now.
Carrie's having a big
to do.
Softball game, a battle for first place in the Mid-Illini. It's Washington hosting Metamora. Washington pitcher, our HOI Athlete of the Week, Carrie Suttle, was terrific. She allowed just 5 hits, gets the strikeout. Jamie Stiglitz from Metamora was terrific. She allowed just 7 hits. Washington got 1 run in the 1st, and Courtney Newkirk's hit scoring Laura Zobrist, and Lindsey Kirk drove in the game winner in the 7th. 3-2, Washington wins it. Well, it's time now to honor the best defensive plays. Time to pass out the HOI Gloves of the Week. And we start high school baseball. East Peoria's got 2 of them. Tommy Meischner at second base, the great running diving catch. Great play by Tommy. How about in center field, Josh Maroney coming up with a nifty diving catch as well. Let's head to softball after that grab by Maroney, and Washington's Tanya Armstrong making the highlights from today's game. Softball now, Mid-Illini leader Washington a winner again today. They knock off Canton. Washington's Jamie McGrath, the sacrifice fly, scoring Rachel Webster. But a big play coming up here by the defense as the ball deflects off Carrie Suttle. McGrath makes the beautiful play, and that helps save Carrie Suttle's no-hitter. Yep, our HOI Athlete of the Week, a no-hitter, 5-zip Washington. Notre Dame. Washington has earned a share of the Mid-Illini title. Congratulations to Clinton Reed and the Panthers. Laura Zobrist, because Ishmael... That wasn't very funny. Your joke at home was probably better. To high school sports tonight at 10, tons of Class A regional championship highlights. The Class AA regionals begin later this week, and one team to keep an eye on, the 3-time Mid-Illini champs.
The Washington Panthers graduated a remarkable senior class last year. The class of 1999, back-to-back undefeated mid-illini champs. Washington's class of 2000, not as big, not as talented as last year's class, but their goal, to win another mid-illini title. They achieved that goal last week.
For once, it's like us. We're the seniors, and we were the leaders. And we feel like we really brought everybody with us and said, hey, you know, we've been there. We're going to make you be there, too.
The amazing thing is not that Washington won the conference after so many graduation losses. The amazing thing is Washington won the conference after starting the conference with a very slow start. Washington won just one of their first 3 conference games. That's when the seniors called a team meeting.
We had a team meeting after one of our losses, and after it was all over, a couple of the seniors told me, they told me, just like volleyball, we're going to sweep that second half of the mid-illini, and they sure did.
Seniors last year really picked us up, and that's what took us, and we wanted to be able to say that we did that too.
The Washington Panthers have always had a great softball tradition. Thanks to this year's seniors, the 21st century begins with another Washington softball championship.
Again, lots of highlights tonight at 10. Game today. It's senior day at Washington. The Panthers, Annie Bandico playing her final home game. So is Courtney Newkirk. Checking out over here, it's Tanya Armstrong and Carrie Suttle. 4 great champion seniors playing their final home game. And Carrie Suttle pitched well. She had a shutout through 5 innings versus perennial power Morris. Meanwhile, Jamie McGrath rips a double, but the final score 7-zip Morris. They scored 6 runs in the 7th inning. Class AA baseball community will play Washington. The Panthers generating some offense. Laura Zobrist, the gorgeous bunt single. That's pretty. Then Jamie McGrath will move her over with the pretty textbook bunt. From there, winning pitcher Carrie Suttle will drive home the first of many runs. Washington's a winner 7-2. Panthers. Softball today, 2 great games at the big Washington Regional, and Normal's the big story. Normal Community beats Washington. Lauren Matari, the RBI sacrifice fly in the 7th inning, the only run of the game as Normal won this one 1-zip. Meanwhile, Normal West scored 5.